drunken whaler? What will we do with a drunken whaler? What will we do with a drunken whaler? Early in the morning, wait up, she rises. Wait up, she rises. Wait up, she rises. Early in the morning.
You were in the wrong place at the right time, and someone has to take the fall.
Have you ever wished that Assassin's Creed was made by a publisher that is not Ubisoft? Have you ever wished that the combat in Assassin's Creed was a bit more than this?
Die! That's for my friend.
Well, look no further than Dishonored. The game that saw Doom Guy and said, what if he was an assassin instead? Well, maybe I'm oversimplifying a bit, but hear me out. The game is set in the worst place on the planet, Britain. In fact, it's so ugly, grey and grim that it makes literal hell look scenic. Regardless, the setting is perfect for what the game has to offer. You're Corvo Attano, the Royal Protector. You are tasked with ensuring the safety of Her Highness. What was her name again? Ah, yes, Jessamine Caldwin. Yes, as you guessed, she gets game ended in like 5 seconds into the story, and you're blamed for it because some teleporting assassins decided to do that, and well, what can you do? You're the Royal Protector, but you can't really protect her from like meteors or like teleporting people or I don't know, dinosaurs. Anyway, they capture you and these rats blame you for it, saying they even saw you do it. That should raise some red flags for you immediately. And you get tortured, and it was their evil plan, blah 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 blah. I mean, can you really be surprised? It's a 2012 game and the evil character looks like this. Yeah, kinda obvious. So you get the gist. You're blamed for the murder you didn't commit, meaning you are... What I like about this game is that it has good balance of story but also gameplay. Like, the gameplay makes sense in the story no matter how you play. Obviously it's a stealth game, but depending on how you play, the story changes. If you play as the game intended and you knock out guards rather than killing them, and you stay in the low chaos, the dialogue changes. You can hear guards talk about you like you're this boogeyman that appears from nowhere and disappears the next second.
Attention, Dunwall City. The assassin Corvo, responsible for the murder of our fair empress and the disappearance of Lady Emily, heir to the throne, has temporarily escaped state custody. Any evidence as to his whereabouts must be delivered to the City Watch at once. Attention, Dunwall City. The assassin Corvo, responsible for the murder of our fair empress and the disappearance of Lady Emily, heir to the throne, has temporarily escaped state custody. Several brave officers of the state are dead by his hand. He is to be captured or killed at any cost.
On the other hand, if you play High Chaos, you're basically John Wick if he had superpowers.
Why do you come?
But I'll get to that part later. Just remember that playing in High Chaos will result in a different ending and a different reaction from friendly NPCs. Sorry for interrupting, but I'd like to take this moment to humbly ask you to subscribe. It helps the channel grow and it really means a lot to me. You can unsubscribe at any moment in the future if you change your mind. But I hope you won't. Thank you. Back to the video. Anyway, when you escape from the prison, one way or another, you will find yourself in this closed-off area of the world that will basically function as a safe zone. It has a couple of floors, and exploring each one will give you further insight on each character. This is also where you will be given your powers. As you go to bed, you awaken in a strange room. It looks familiar, but something is off. As you try to make your way out, you realize you're no longer in the real world. You're in the void. You continue walking forward, but then suddenly, you're approached by the outsider. He gives you his mark, allowing you to teleport just like those assassins did. This is one of the most useful abilities in the game. I say one of because there is one that I feel is even more powerful. As you complete the dream sequence and return to normal, you will be going out on your first mission. What I absolutely love about this game is that it rewards you for exploring and going off the beaten path. Before I left for the mission, I explored every possible nook and cranny for loot. I would have done the same if it was any other game though, but that's just because I'm weird like that. And I think this is the perfect moment to explain bone charms and runes. That is the level up system in this game. Think of it as gear upgrades. Each level has an X amount of runes and bone charms that you can find that progress your character. Runes are used to upgrade your abilities, like the one you just received, and bone charms make your playing experience better. For example, there is a bone charm that makes you carry people faster, or one that makes your stealth faster, etc, etc. You get the gist of it. This is an absolute must for someone like me in a level. I cannot finish a level if I don't at least attempt to gather all bone charms and runes. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, you find them by holding out the heart of the Empress you failed to protect. You can just walk around with it and shit. No one even questions you. I guess it's just a normal thing for people that are living through the plague. The game is like a semi-open world area type thing, similar to Doom or Wolfenstein. I'd say it's more similar to Wolfenstein simply due to technology. You have these big leg ground dudes and some robot samurais and Tesla coil turrets, but I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. Your mission is to save the Empress's daughter. And to do that, you need to gather information on where she's being held captive and enact revenge on those that wronged you. As I've mentioned before, you choose if you want to go low chaos or high chaos route. There is always a way to approach a mission without killing the target. If you explore the map, you will find interesting side characters and their story, like the old Grandma Rags that is completely unhinged. I highly recommend you do her quest because she gives runes and bone charms. Even though her quests are morally questionable. Let's talk about powers. By using runes, you can upgrade your current power or unlock new ones. This is the first negative thing I have to say about this game. From the unlockable 6 powers, you will only use 3 or maybe 4. I'll start from the best to worst, in my personal, biased opinion. Number 1 has to be Dark Vision. Now, look, I get that it's playing the game on baby mode, but it's too powerful for me not to use it. I'm baby. By using this power, you can see enemies through walls and when upgraded, all nearby loot. and items that you can pick up. This was insanely broken in the first game, as it had range of like, I don't know, 50 meters. It truly is easy mode, so if you want to make the game harder for yourself, don't acquire it. Number 2 has got to be either slow time or blink, but I'm going to give it to blink. You will use that ability non-stop, and it's probably the most useful ability in the game and most iconic. I don't care what anyone says. It lets you teleport a short distance in front of you. You can even gain verticality with it, and negates fall damage. So it's really the bread and butter of the game. You can sneak by guards with it, climb walls and platforms, even avoid detection. It's perfect. Number 3 is slow time. I don't have to explain what it does because, duh. Extremely useful to avoid detection or to move great distances in short time. When fully upgraded, you can stop the time for everyone but yourself completely. This is in fact a JoJo reference. I'd give number 4 to possession. It's really limited in use, I'd say. You can only possess small animals like rats to access small openings and reach different parts of the map without detection, but like, apart from that, it's pretty useless. I don't see why I'd want to spend that much mana for possessing guards and just walking around with them. Like, bruh, I can literally teleport and stop time. Get a grip. Now the number 5 is Wind Blast. It is used to open barred doors and knock enemies away. But again, I can stop time and teleport. Why would I use a light breeze against my opponents? Trash. Number 6 and the final one, making it the most useless one to the point that I haven't even leveled it up in both playthroughs, is the Rat Swarm. My brother in Christ, when would this be useful? Let's say I'm being attacked by 20 guards at the same time. The swarm would be useful then, right? No! Time stop. Or dash. Or just abuse saves coming. Oh, but maybe I can use it on unaware guards? Or you could just, I don't know, hold left shift for 3 seconds? Or use your crossbow to insta-kill him? I'm sorry, but it's so pointless, I really don't see a use for it. I think it would have been better to allow players to further upgrade the already acquired abilities. They actually did that in Dishonored 2, but that's for another video. So take my word for it and unlock and upgrade those top 3 abilities and spend the rest on Vitality, Agility and Shadow Kill. It's far more useful. Bloodthirsty is also pretty pointless. Now here's the thing. As you're making your way from one map to another and solving puzzles, looting, etc, you will eventually come to the end game, the final mission. This is where your actions throughout the playthrough will shine. If you killed a lot of people, you will get the bad ending, but if you didn't, you get the good ending. Here's the thing. When the game was in development, they designed it without chaos. So midway through development, after playtesting, they were like, wait a minute, I just completed this level without killing anyone. We could reward players for going non-lethal and have different outcomes based on that, no? This is why the bad ending is so confusing. This next part contains some spoilers for the ending of the game. If you don't want to be spoiled, skip to the time shown on screen. Samuel drives you to save Emily, but he's acting weird. He's being passive-aggressive towards you and tells you he has no respect for you because you're a murderer. Now hold on a bit. He literally drove you to each and every mission knowing that you were going to kill the target of the mission. Assassination target. Congratulated you for doing it and making it back alive, and now he's dissing you. This is what I mean. They didn't plan to have chaos system in the game, so at the end it's a bit goofy. Anyway, it's really not that big of a deal. If the only negatives I can find in the game can be counted on one hand and they aren't really that important, I'd say that alone goes to show how good the game is. Dishonored is a really good reminder on what games used to be, before the battle passes, before multiplayer, before corporate greed, when the developers wanted to give you a good game and tell a good story that they themselves were passionate about. It truly is like a piece of art. It feels timeless and it still holds its own today. Of course, I know there were multiplayer games back then. Matter of fact, multiplayer giants were released like COD Modern Warfare 3, GTA 5 and CSGO, but what I've meant was, it was made before the multiplayer craze of today. Every game needs to be a multiplayer now. I mean, like, why do you need to be connected to a server to play a single player game? The trailers for Dishonored were also super cool, and the best part about them is everything they showcased was actually possible to do in the game. Unlike AAA studios today that just love the footage may not reflect gameplay experience, like, bro, I do not want pre-rendered Marvel cutscenes. I want that juicy gameplay. Anyway, I don't want to steal any more of your time. Like the video and comment below if you've ever played Dishonored and what are your thoughts on it. Also tell me if you'd like me to make a video on Dishonored 2 and how that game improved upon the first. That's all for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!